I don't want to be strong like men who look pretty. I want to be strong like beasts that fight bears in the forest.
Hey everyone, Sydney and Amber here of Shield Maiden Training Co. And we are excited about our podcast. Yay! Hey Amber, what is Shield Maiden Training Co.?
That is a great question, Sydney. Shield Maiden Training Co. is a safe fitness space for everyone, but we do focus primarily on women and the LGBTQ plus communities. We discuss, we have fun, we bring light to health, wellness, and fitness topics. And we dig into those topics that are unique to these communities, women and LGBTQ+, and some topics that are maybe not. But why should you follow us, Sydney?
To expand your knowledge and laugh and explore the world of fitness with a slightly different perspective.
So for the next few weeks, we are going to be diving into a very relevant topic, given the time of year. We're going to be talking about holiday stressors and how they impact your health and fitness. Let's dive in.
Awesome. Well, I think this is a really great question to start with you, Amber, because you're about to be doing holiday travel. And that's like a huge part of holiday stressors is people traveling. So why are you going to be traveling?
I am traveling first thing tomorrow morning, actually.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. So I am traveling to go visit my mom, who I have not seen in quite some time. And it is very stressful because I am bringing my tiny dog as well. So that adds an extra level of stress on top of just having to move myself across the country.
Right. So you're going from where you're based in Richmond, Virginia, and where are you going to? And how many stops does it take to get you there?
I am going to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's only going to take me one stop. And on the way out, we don't have to get off the plane even, so that's pretty sweet. On the way back, we will have to get off the plane, which is always rough. Because when we stop, I like to let the tiny dog out to stretch her legs, but then she does not want to go back into the carrier to reboard the plane.
Makes sense. I mean, same.
Yeah, it's fair. I get it. I don't want to do it either.
Wait, but okay, so you're leaving at 4 a.m. You only have one stop, but you have to drive from where you are in Richmond to DC, right?
I do, yeah.
So your whole day of travel, like how many hours are you actually traveling for?
Let's see. With the time change, it's probably close to 12 hours.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to find time to do anything like fitness related when you're traveling? Like, do you make a plan for that? Or do you just say like, this is a day of travel and I just like there's no way I can fitness today?
It depends. When I do have a layover at the airport, especially when I'm bringing Gracie, the tiny dog, we do a lot of walking in the airport, which I try to pack light. I do check luggage because I don't pack that light. But for my carry-ons, I try to pack light because I have Gracie to manage too. So yeah, we pretty much just walk around the airport.
So you're walking and doing farmer's carries with your carry-on, essentially.
Yeah,
so you're getting a whole workout in just going through the airport.
Yeah. Otherwise, I kind of plan to not be doing much on travel days, just knowing how stressed I already am with just getting myself to the airport and through security and to the terminal. It's enough stress. Because I really enjoy yoga, I'll probably do a short yoga session, either when I get to Albuquerque or in the evening before I go to bed, to try and relax and stretch things out after travel.
That's great, especially if you're sitting in the middle seat. I find, stretching. I mean, I don't have that problem being a short individual, but I know other people probably don't enjoy sitting in the middle seat. So yoga, great option for travel time. So if anybody has an idea for a business, I think maybe somebody should open a fitness facility inside an airport.
That's brilliant.
Right? Like, I think,
That's a great idea.
I mean, when I travel, I'm such a, like, I get to the airport early and I'm usually a big fidgeter. Like, people watching is my favorite thing. But if I had something more constructive to do, I think I'd probably do it. Like, if I knew I had like a long layover, or if like my plane is delayed, because I used to travel a ton, and it would be like, okay, well, now what do I do? I can't really leave the airport. But if there was a way for me to like not be that weird, creepy person doing like burpees in the corner, it would probably be a cool business model. I don't know. Anybody out there? Yeah, I just gave you a great.
Copyright.
Yeah, right.
Showman Training Co.
Make sure you bring
On the
us
go.
in. Yeah, to the airport fitness facility you're going to open. Reach out for more tips and tricks on opening random businesses in weird places. Cool. So yeah, you're going to be traveling for a while. How long are you going to be gone for?
I'm gonna be gone for a week.
Okay, so that is like a long enough time traveling from Richmond to Albuquerque to like switch over to time zone.
It is.
Okay, so do you do that? Like, do you make a plan of like, okay, I have to get on their time zone, or do you try and stay on East Coast time zone?
Let's see. I don't really make much of a plan. I try to adapt to that time zone because, that's when my mom is awake. So yeah, but I'm still up at like, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's 7 here, and then I'm exhausted by 8 o'clock and ready for bed, which is fine because that's my mom's schedule too. So it actually kind of works out.
That works out well. So outside of the holiday, like outside of the travel happening to be around the holiday time, I was thinking like, okay, when was the last time that you traveled specifically for like those major holidays? Because like this is just slightly ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, but I know that you travel around the holiday time pretty frequently and pretty long distance. So what has been like the worst experience traveling around the holidays, and has it negatively impact your desire to travel around the holidays, or did you just like chalk it up to like, this is what holiday travel is?
I mean, I'm not traveling at the holidays this year purposely. Like, I try not to do that often, but I always have had travel around the holidays. My parents are divorced, and they have been since I was a small kid, so like totally used to that. But it does make the holidays tough, having to do the divorced parent shuffle. Let's see. Last year was a little wild because I did travel with my dog for the first time via plane to Albuquerque for Christmas. That was rough because we did get delayed at the airport, and my dog did not want to use the pet relief center in the airport. Nor did she want to go outside when I left security to try and let her go to the bathroom. So that was stressful, just trying to manage the dog and the holidays and all the people. I think one of the worst travel holiday experiences was coming from Albuquerque to Vermont. When I was in high school, I was flying, and I got stuck I think it was in Chicago.
Everyone always gets stuck in Chicago.
They do. You can always get into Chicago, but you can never get out. I'm hoping that staying on the plane this time means that I get to leave Chicago.
They trap you underneath the sauce of the deep dish pizza. It's like the cheese. You're the cheese. You're just like, it's under the sauce.
Yeah, so I was, I don't know, 17 or 18, traveling by myself from my mom's house to go see my dad for Christmas, and yeah, got stuck in the like major snowstorm, and I arrived late enough in the day that they'd already canceled so many flights that all the hotels in the area were fully booked. There were no hotels. So me being at that time I was smaller, female, not young teens, but young enough.
Yeah, traveling alone.
I had to spend the night in the airport, and it was
yes.
It was so rough.
Oh, the airport sleeps.
It was it was pretty nerve wracking. I guess, I mean, luckily for me, not for them. There were, a lot of families obviously traveling for the holiday, so it didn't feel too bad. There's a lot of other people in the same situation, and we were all kind of just there, hunkered down together. But oof,
Yeah.
that was rough.
Oh, airport sleeping. I have slept in my fair share of airports. I actually refuse to travel during the holidays unless it's by car now, because I feel like I have so much more control over that, just having had awful, horrible holiday. One of the worst travel experiences of my life. It happened. You would think that this would be so nice. I was traveling by train
Ooh,
down from, I think,
fancy.
either Maine or Vermont. And and I can travel almost all the way down into Maryland. My parents still ended up having to pick me up. And so traveling by train, but it takes so much longer. And I'm a really active person. And so like you can only walk the train so many times. And then there was like a big holdup in DC. Either the president was like on the move, and so like everything was shut down, and it just became this whole thing. So now I will only travel by car during the holidays. Like I have driven up and down the coast more times during the holidays than I can count. And it's all because I'm like, I will not get on a plane or a train any longer during the holidays, because there's always delays. The other people just don't seem to be as friendly as you would expect them to be during the holidays. And again, because stress levels are so high, it's just so unpredictable. And so like that, for me, being a really extroverted person, like really impacts my mental health when I'm just like, but it's the holidays. Everybody should be nice.
Right.
Like, and they're not. And I try and show compassion and empathy of like people stuck in Chicago, with their full families at Christmas time, and how unfortunate that must be for them, but still being like, be nice to me. Be my friend. We're all in this together.
Exactly.
So I don't travel very much other than a car during the holidays now for that very reason. And I think taking a train in other countries is probably a lovely experience, but I don't recommend it in the US. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, I used to do it a lot, but now not so much. Okay, so holiday travel, kind of a thing that we all somewhat have to endure. I think I read a statistic of something like 47% of the population travels during the holiday season. So like there's a lot of people who are traveling from now, which happens to be October 31st, through January 1st, and all of probably even later. So like that's like half the population almost is traveling during the holidays. So I can imagine how much that disrupts a lot of like fitness schedules and like health and wellness routines.
Right.
So my question to you then, as somebody who is in the health and fitness industry, like what tips and tricks do you do to keep yourself like at least a little bit in that mindset of, okay, this is a long time frame from October 31st all the way to January 1st. Like that's like 2.5 months of like, okay, what if I don't get to the gym because of all of this? Like, what do you do?
Well, for me, it's easy. I just don't travel besides this trip. But I try to find ways to just, move my body during the day. Like it doesn't, like, to be real, it's not usually a full workout. I don't usually go look for a gym. But like I'll have my dog. So like we go on walks. My mom likes to go on walks with her dog, so we'll go for a walk every day together and take like a nice long venture and do that. I've been helping her with some hip pain and mobility issues, so we'll probably do some yoga and some stretching to help work on that. But yeah, anytime that I can walk instead of driving wherever I am or I'm visiting, I try to do that. Just to at least, keep moving and not just be sitting in a car all day or sitting on the couch. Go for family walks after meals is a really nice thing to do, weather permitting, obviously. Now that I'm in the South, use that term loosely. I'm not really in the South.
The people of Virginia would disagree. They think they're in the South.
Okay. not deep south. I am south of where I've spent most of my life. So it is much warmer, and I feel like it's much easier to go take those walks.
Yeah, right. Today is Halloween and it's 70 degrees. It's pretty humid out there. But yeah, there's no reason you can't go for a run today.
But, in the colder climates, like we would, go out and go sledding after, the holiday or during the holiday with family. And like, that's pretty strenuous, running back up those hills with a sled. So, yeah, anything to just get moving.
Nice. I mean, that's kind of like, it's funny. You were like, oh, it's not a full workout and I don't research a gym, which is like the complete opposite of me.
I thought it might be.
I try and usually find a new gym in the area, or one of my favorite things is to like talk to my friends who are in the area and be like, hey, what do you do? And can I come along? So it ends up usually being something, it's a great way for me to like, one, get out of the house, and also just like, I am an extrovert, but it's a good time for me to be like, oh, this is me time, because it's about the only time that I'll like focus on me, because the rest of the time I'm interacting with like family or friends and things like that. So if I can find a new gym space to go to, I can be like, oh no, I'm just going to take this, hour and a half or whatever it is for me. And I usually try and get friends involved and things like that. Yeah, of course.
How that works.
Yeah, I drag them all to the gym. It works out really well for most of us and most of the time. But I recognize that it takes a lot of planning. Like I have to do a lot of research ahead of time. I have to find out when they're open. I usually have to get in contact with whoever, the GM or the owner. I have to set up, depending on how long I'm going to be there. It's like a day pass, or, am I going to do a week drop in? It's more fun because, I have a gym membership here in Virginia, but when I'm traveling, I'm paying to go to a different gym. It's not like reciprocal. I mean,
it should all be reciprocal.
It should be. And I mean, there are a lot that are. So that's why some people love places like Crunch Fitness or even the YMCA, because they can do that. Some of the more boutique-y kind of fitness facilities, you don't have a reciprocal CrossFit membership to every CrossFit you frequent. Though, hey, CrossFit, I think I might be onto something.
Got an idea for you.
I have an idea for you. See my fitness in airports. So I recognize that can be also a hurdle for a lot of people. And so it might not be an option for everybody. So but it is an option that's out there that you can, utilize. And, it's sometimes fun to see how other people coach and what other equipment's out there. You run into those kinds of things. So, let's see. So you said you don't really travel during the holiday season.
Try not to.
You try not to. And I travel, but it's usually by car. But I recognize that people, and in the past, I have taken like multiple trips during a short period of time, right? Like if you're traveling for Thanksgiving and then Christmas, like sometimes that's maybe a month. Like you might travel just ahead of Christmas. So like it's 3-week time period to turn around. That is so disruptive to a fitness routine.
It is.
Like, and even probably just like a eating routine. Like,
yeah, any routine. Like it just disintegrates between, November 20th and January 5th.
Everything disintegrates. The world is on fire. Everything's on fire. Just roll up in a little ball. No, don't do that. You're fine. You're doing okay.
That's great. That time period is just food.
Food and family. Well, I have a new proposal. Okay. We turn it into, instead of the 2 F's, food and family, we turn it into the 3 F's, which is food, family, and fitness. I think I should trademark that.
You can try.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's going to be on board. But that's okay. Okay, we digress. We'll have other podcasts where we do a little longer form, but I am trying to be mindful of timing. So, to recap, holiday travel can be a cluster. Mm-hmm. And if you are doing holiday travel, what are some things that you would recommend as somebody who travels during the holidays and who doesn't like all forms of fitness?
Most forms of fitness.
Forms of fitness.
Yeah, I think just finding little ways to get up and move around. Especially like if you're visiting family, like pulling them into it too, because then you're still able to hang out with them in whatever form that is. Go for a walk, and after dinner, after lunch, whatever, walk. If you're going shopping, go to somewhere where you can walk around, like park the car and walk around. I use walking a lot because that's like the cheapest and easiest thing to be able to do wherever you're going.
It's incredibly heart healthy too.
Right? It's
like,
so good.
It's so good for you.
So just get up and go for a walk. Make sure you stretch because that will help with your stress.
Yes.
Stretch. It doesn't have to be a full like yoga flow. It can just be a little bit of stretching. Stretch out your shoulders, stretch out your back, stretch out your legs. Follow us for more stretching tips.
She's jumping ahead to the end.
You gotta work it in throughout. A friend of ours found out, through her fitness tracker, that playing fetch with her dog or tug with her dog.
Oh yeah.
Like really jacked up her fitness, her heart rate, whatever it was tracking. So like go play with your dog if you have one. Borrow your neighbor's dog. I don't know. Find a dog. Play with it.
But safely. Please don't steal somebody's dog at the dog park. Disclaimer.
Don't be that creeper at the dog park without a dog. Nobody likes that. But yeah, like that's good for your health. It's good for your dog. It'll make everyone happy. So yeah, whatever little ways you can find to just get off the couch and out of the food coma is just going to benefit you.
Awesome. So to wrap up, there's I think a couple different ways that you can approach holiday travel. So like if you're somebody like me who enjoys fitness activities and you can lean into them during this time, like, they can help reduce stress. They can help you set boundaries, like with your family. If your family is really, intense and always demanding of your time, making sure that you take some of that for yourself. And
that's a whole other episode.
We'll be diving into that later. And it might encourage your family and friends to actually join you and help improve their overall health and fitness. So that's a benefit. Or if you're like Amber and you dislike fitness activities and rely really on the structure to make sure you get them in, then just forget them during this time. Like, don't add more stress to the season. So lean into the positive things that do help you alleviate your stress. So maybe read a book, go for a walk, eat a cookie, sit around with family and friends. It's all okay. That's, it's all about balance.
It is. Balance is important.
It is.
Yeah. And, follow us. Keep listening, tune into our social media for tips, tricks, and some on-the-go workouts at Shield Maiden TC.
Yeah.